Most people spend their entire lives seeking approval, following crowds, and desperately trying to fit into boxes that were never meant for them. But there exists a rare breed of women who have rejected this game entirely. They don't seek the spotlight, yet they command attention. They don't chase validation, yet they earn respect. They don't follow trends, yet they shape the future. These are Sigma females, and today we're dissecting the 7 habits that make them virtually unstoppable. This isn't feel-good content or motivational fluff. This is cold, hard analysis of behavioral patterns that create real power. Hit subscribe if you want more unfiltered truth about human psychology. A Sigma female doesn't exist within traditional hierarchies because she has transcended the need for them. While others scramble for position, she creates her own reality. While others seek permission, she grants it to herself. The question isn't whether you can become one. The question is whether you have the discipline to abandon the comfortable mediocrity that most people call life. Habit 1. They weaponize solitude. While the masses are terrified of their own thoughts, Sigma females have turned solitude into their greatest weapon. This isn't hiding from the world. This is strategic withdrawal to gain perspective that chaos cannot provide. Every great decision, every breakthrough insight, every moment of clarity comes from the silence that most people desperately avoid. They understand a fundamental truth. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life, and quality thinking requires undisturbed space. Marcus Aurelius wrote his most profound insights alone, in his tent, between battles. Modern Sigma females follow this same principle. They retreat to advance. I know a woman who disappears for 48 hours every month. No phone, no people, no distractions. She returns with decisions that take others weeks to make, and insights that others never reach. While her competitors drown in meetings and opinions, she emerges with clarity. This solitude isn't comfort. It's training. It's building the mental strength to trust your own judgment when everyone else is wrong. It's developing the ability to hear your own voice above the noise of 1,000 others. Most people fear solitude because they fear discovering who they really are when stripped of external validation. Sigma females embrace this discovery because they know that self-knowledge is the foundation of all power. Habit 2. They control their reveal. Information is power, and Sigma females guard their information like military secrets. They don't confuse authenticity with transparency. Being authentic means being true to your values. It doesn't mean broadcasting your vulnerabilities to every person you meet. They reveal themselves in layers, and each layer must be earned. This isn't game playing. This is strategic self-preservation and power maintenance. Watch how most people interact. They spill their life story to strangers, seeking connection through shared weakness. Sigma females understand that respect comes from demonstrated strength, not revealed vulnerability. At work, she might be efficient and professional, with close friends, philosophical and deep. In her passion projects, intense and visionary. Each version is completely authentic. They're simply different facets revealed to different audiences based on what each relationship has earned. This controlled reveal serves a deeper purpose. It prevents manipulation. You cannot be controlled by someone who doesn't know your pressure points. You cannot be predictably managed by someone who hasn't seen your full hand. The Stoics taught that we should control what we can control and accept what we cannot. Your personal information is completely within your control. Yet most people give it away freely and then wonder why they feel powerless. A Sigma female's mystery isn't accidental. It's cultivated, maintained, and strategically deployed. Habit 3. They disagree without seeking permission. Most people either avoid all conflict or pick every fight. Sigma females have mastered a third option: strategic opposition. They disagree not to win arguments, but to serve truth. They oppose not to be difficult, but to prevent greater difficulties later. They stand alone, not because they enjoy isolation, but because they value integrity more than acceptance. Here's what separates them from the crowd. They're willing to be temporarily hated for speaking permanent truth. They'll be the only person in the room to challenge a flawed plan, question a bad decision, or refuse to participate in collective delusion. While everyone nods along with a terrible strategy, because it's easier than speaking up, she's the one asking the questions everyone is thinking but afraid to voice. She's not trying to be right. She's trying to prevent preventable disasters. But here's the crucial part. She chooses her battles with surgical precision. She doesn't disagree to be contrarian. She disagrees when silence would be complicity in failure or mediocrity. This selective opposition builds a reputation for principled thinking. Over time, people start seeking her perspective specifically because they know she'll tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Epictetus taught that we cannot control others' reactions, only our own actions. Sigma females embody this completely. They speak their truth and let others respond as they will. They refuse to dilute their message to manage others' emotions. The weak seek consensus. The strong create it through demonstrated competence and unwavering principles. Habit 4. They reject predictable patterns. Predictability is a prison that most people build for themselves. Sigma females refuse to be caged by others' expectations or their own past choices. This isn't random chaos. This is strategic unpredictability. The moment someone thinks they have her figured out, she evolves. The instant someone tries to put her in a box, she demonstrates why boxes cannot contain her. Most people become slaves to their own consistency. They make one decision and feel obligated to make the same decision forever. Sigma females understand that growth requires the willingness to contradict your former self. She might spend years building expertise in finance, then suddenly pivot to art. While others see inconsistency, she sees evolution. She refuses to be trapped by sunk costs or others' investments in who she used to be. This unpredictability extends to her responses. She might handle one crisis with stoic calm and another with passionate intensity, because she responds authentically to each unique situation rather than following a predetermined script. Here's why this matters. Predictable people can be managed, controlled, and taken for granted. Unpredictable people must be respected, considered, and treated with care. Underneath this surface unpredictability, her core values remain unshakable. She's not unpredictable in her character or integrity. She's unpredictable in her methods and expressions. Her principles are stone, her tactics are water. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." Sigma females embody this by refusing to be limited by past versions of themselves or future expectations from others. Habit 5. They make others come to them. While everyone else is chasing connections and collecting contacts, Sigma females have mastered the art of gravitational pull. They don't network. They become worth networking with. They don't seek opportunities. They become the opportunity others seek. This isn't arrogance. It's strategic positioning based on demonstrated value. Most networking is desperation, disguised as professionalism. People frantically exchanging business cards, hoping someone will give them what they haven't earned. Sigma females skip this entirely and focus on becoming undeniably valuable. While others attend every conference and seminar, she's at home mastering her craft. When she finally appears at an event, she's the person everyone wants to approach because of her reputation, not her elevator pitch. She builds fewer relationships, but each one is deeper, more valuable, and more lasting. She asks herself one question: what can I offer? Never, what can I get? This approach also means she's incredibly selective about who gains access to her time and energy. Not everyone deserves her attention, and she's comfortable with that reality. Seneca taught that we should choose our associations carefully because we become like those we spend time with. Sigma females take this seriously. They'd rather be alone than in poor company. The result is that her professional relationships are based on mutual respect and genuine value exchange, not desperation or manipulation. People compete for her attention rather than her competing for theirs. When you make yourself indispensable, doors open without you having to knock. Habit 6. They embrace total immersion. While others preach balance, Sigma females understand that extraordinary results require extraordinary commitment. They allow themselves to become completely consumed by work that matters. Not the desperate busyness that most people mistake for productivity, but the deep, sustained focus that creates breakthrough results. Balance is often an excuse for mediocrity. When something truly matters, when it aligns with your deepest values and highest potential, half measures are insulting to your own capabilities. She might disappear for months while creating something significant, emerging only when the work demands her full presence elsewhere. She doesn't apologize for these periods of intensity because she understands that greatness requires sacrifice. But here's the crucial element. She chooses her obsessions carefully. She doesn't get consumed by trivial pursuits or other people's emergencies. When she commits fully, it's to something that deserves her full commitment. She also cycles between periods of intense focus and complete restoration. She understands that sustainability requires both maximum effort and complete recovery. The Stoics taught that we should do everything with full attention and commitment. Sigma females embody this principle. When they work completely. When they rest completely. Most people are allergic to this level of intensity because it requires them to confront their own capacity for greatness. It's easier to stay comfortably mediocre than to discover what you're truly capable of achieving. Her obsessions become her masterpieces because she refuses to dilute her energy across meaningless pursuits. Habit 7. They build walls before they need them. Most people set boundaries after they've been violated, when they're angry, overwhelmed, and reactive. Sigma females set boundaries when they're calm, clear, and strategic. This isn't defensive behavior. It's proactive self-preservation. They anticipate potential problems and prevent them rather than cleaning up messes after they occur. Boundaries set in anger look like attacks. Boundaries set in wisdom look like professionalism. The difference is timing and emotional state. She tells new colleagues up front that she doesn't respond to emails after 7 p.m. or take calls on weekends. She establishes these limits when she's thinking clearly, not when she's already burned out and resentful. This extends to every area of her life. She communicates her values, standards, and non-negotiables early in relationships rather than hoping people will figure it out, or gradually pushing limits to see what she'll tolerate. Proactive boundaries are respected. Reactive boundaries create conflict. When you set clear expectations from the beginning, people know exactly what they're agreeing to. Epictetus taught that we should define what is up to us and what is not up to us. Our boundaries are completely within our control, yet most people act as if they're powerless to establish them. She's comfortable disappointing people rather than disappointing herself. She'd rather be seen as demanding than be taken advantage of. She understands that respect comes from demonstrated standards, not accommodating weakness. Her energy is finite and precious. She protects it like the valuable resource it is, ensuring it goes toward purposes that align with her values and goals. These 7 habits aren't lifestyle tips. They're fundamental shifts in how you relate to yourself and the world. Weaponizing solitude, controlling your reveal, disagreeing without permission, rejecting predictable patterns, making others come to you, embracing total immersion, and building walls before you need them. What makes Sigma females unstoppable isn't that they're different. It's that they're authentic to their own nature rather than performing for others' approval. They've rejected the exhausting game of seeking external validation and focused entirely on internal standards. Most people will never develop these habits because they require something most people lack: the courage to be disliked, misunderstood, and temporarily alone while building something meaningful. So here's your moment of truth. Are you willing to trade comfortable mediocrity for uncomfortable excellence? Are you ready to stop performing for an audience that doesn't matter and start living for principles that do? Choose one habit. Not to try it, but to implement it completely. Pick the one that makes you most uncomfortable. That's probably the one you need most. Remember, the world doesn't need another person desperately seeking approval. It needs people who have found their own source of strength and are willing to stand on it, regardless of who understands or approves. Subscribe if you want more unfiltered analysis of what actually creates power and success. Comment below with which habit you're implementing, not thinking about, not considering, but actually doing. The choice is yours. Choose wisely.